About had Gustagi gotten no, we were talking about had you gotten beyond perceptual reality. Greg, go on mute. Thanks. And people were saying they did. So Gustagi, what do you get from what you were told so far?
Sorry, I don't understand.
What did you get from what we told you about perceptual reality?
What do I get? Well, from you guys now, or generally from Immunics?
From us now.
What do you mean? What? I don't quite understand. I mean, it seems like you guys are definitely doing that, and it really appeals to me the way you're doing it. So yeah, I mean, I'm quite excited and quite interested to get involved in the way you're doing it, and yeah, I quite like it.
Let me just all right, I'll explain to you how an immersion weekend would work. Okay.
Okay.
Because of the time difference, your first meeting, now you're 5 hours from me, so your first meeting would be at 2 p.m. Okay, that would be on Friday, and your second meeting would be at 5 p.m. Now you'd be given assignments to do between these meetings, so the idea would be that you would have to immerse yourself. And then your last meeting would be at 9 p.m.
Yeah.
And so we'd be checking the assignments and giving you new ones and teaching you things. And then you'd have all this work to do overnight. And through the next morning, which would take you to the next 2 p.m. meeting. And that would go on for 3 days or 2 days. And as far as paying for it, I have a couple of options I could give you. One is you can do a 2-day, and you could pay. Here's the option. You could pay $600 up front, and you could do either a 2-day, which would be $600. Or a 3-day, and you could pay the rest off if you want.
Okay.
So you could have a payment agreement for $300. So you know that. So there it is. You know. So that's. It is possible to do it even with the time difference. That's not a problem. It'll be. We can have a fine immersion weekend even with the time difference, and you can also. You know, you'll just have to choose a weekend when you have the money to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, there's a possibility I might be able to do it next weekend.
Okay.
I just got to see how the finances are this week. I've got to buy tools and stuff for work, so it's a little bit tight. And whatever. Anyway,
all right.
Get into details, but. Yeah, I'd like to be able to do it next week, and it's possibly a good time for me to get the privacy I need. But it would only be a 2-day because I'd only have the Saturday and Sunday.
Right. Well, one thing that I realized, by the way, I just want to say this to everybody, which doesn't apply to you since you would only do the 2-day thing, is that when people do 3-day immersion weekends, I realized that the way to do the immersion weekend is to have one of their meetings be with the whole cure team on Friday. Like presumably their second meeting of the day would be with the cure team. And, so would yours if you were doing, because if you were in Europe, you would just, it would be this meeting at, 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
Because I think having that kind of exposure would be good for somebody who is doing this. Now, I'm really sorry that Bootsy isn't here because she needs to hear this, but she's not, and it can't be helped. Anyway, so that's, that'd be great. We'll be happy to do it with you.
Mm-hmm.
you, as soon as you can get the money,
I just got a message from her saying she's just going to be late and she'll be here in a minute.
right.
Wow.
What you should do when you are able to pay, you should call Greg.
Okay.
And if it's, you know, obviously, you know, if somebody's busy or somebody else has booked the weekend, then you'd have to do it the weekend after or the weekend after that or whatever, you know. But,
Okay.
you know, the sooner you can pay, the sooner you have your weekend booked. And you just call Greg. Do you have his number, right? You have his phone number.
I do, yes.
Yes, so you just give him a call on his cell phone. That's the way to reach him. Don't send him anything on Facebook or Skype and these messages and stuff, because we don't read them for 2 days, like you saw the one that you sent me. I didn't see it till a little while ago, you know.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah,
So-
all right, that's the way to do it then. Okay, well, I mean, I'll try for next weekend, but yeah, and I'll just give you as much notice as I can then, yeah, and
Yeah, then we'll tell you if it's fine, you can do it that weekend, you know.
cool.
Right now, nobody.
Yeah, I'm really keen to do that because, like I say, I'm an experiential person. My signals are, you know, they come and they go, and they're not that strong. And I think by being in it, the whatever you want to call it, the morphic field that you're creating,
Yeah.
then that will strengthen that in me. And I mean, I'm definitely receiving guidance. I have been for a while, and it's just. This is a format that's very kind of tangible, yeah, I just need to practice it.
I can tell that you have spiritual guidance.
Yeah, I was guided to you guys. I mean, it's very clear. I said a prayer. I said, "What's next?" You know, 'cause
Well, you know,
I've left the academy, and it's like I'm doing a lot of breathing, and I get a lot of insight, things like that.
You know,
and it was just like I made a clear question: "What's next?" And then the very next day, or maybe even the same day, I just went on the internet. I was looking for a yoga class, and I just went, I don't know, yoga for herpes, and then bang,
yoga for herpes. Really?
And I found you on YouTube by putting that. So I was like, okay. It became very clear that what you're doing is very in line with what I'm doing. It's just I just had to look at all the language that I use for the things, and then apply it in a way, and then I realised that it's the same thing. So.
By the way, you should do as much as you can to cure your herpes every day now, and not wait for...
I clear it out, because my signals are a little weak. I get a bit like, you know, the mind kicks in and it starts going, oh, this ain't working. And then one day it's really working. But I clear it out every morning. I clear it out. I've noticed, actually, since I started clearing it out, that I'm very tired in the morning. I'm working hard, but I'm just wondering if there's something going, if that rings any bells with anyone, that I feel quite heavy in the morning. Maybe that's because I feel so good when I go to bed, and then it's coming back in the night, and I'm feeling heavy again.
You have to check yourself in the morning for herpes.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, I'm filming you talking about your herpes.
That's great.
So, but you're not really afraid to talk about your herpes on YouTube and stuff like that, right? I mean, you're okay with, you know, that doesn't worry.
Well, it's likely most people are going to see it. So I'm not too bothered at the moment. I've been really taking a look at that in my mind about my fear of people knowing.
Well, that's a symptom. It's another.
I'm really taking a look at it, and I'm overcoming it. I've made a decision to start by telling a couple of people, possibly next week when I see my best friend, and beginning with that. And you know, I feel that this is going to be like me letting it go now.
Yeah, you have to cure that to cure your herpes. It is a symptom. It's holding.
I know that the only way to cure it is to just, you know, look at it and face it.
Yeah, it's holding the herpes in place.
Yeah,
It's regenerating it. Like you're taking the herpes out, and then you're regenerating the herpes again.
Yeah. No, and I recognise I have got to give this away to keep it. So
right.
To stay well, I've got to give away the cure. So to do that, I'm going to have to come out with it at some stage anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to be making any announcements on Facebook just yet, but maybe when I get a blood test or whatever.
I have to tell you that when you talk about yourself, to your Facebook friends, you actually do open yourself up to healing from them. People usually think of it as opening themselves to their friends attacking them, because for most people are being attacked by their friends. Their friends are attacking them. When you learn how to deal with that attack, and you become immune to people attacking you, and then you start to see all the ways that they were healing you that you couldn't see because you were so taken down by the attack. The attack is so painful that's what we always focus on painful things, and we don't focus on what we're being given. So if you cure things, your gratitude comes in, and you begin to feel to feel grateful to people for curing you and caring about you.
Now, the gratitude is coming naturally now. I mean, it's been about 3 years since I was diagnosed, and that was, I was completely, 3 years ago, I was completely unconscious, like seriously unconscious. I was using drugs very heavily for 20 years, and alcoholic, like all of it. And so, the herpes is actually a huge gift to me, what it's given me, and the awakening that it's occurred in me. So, I come from way anyway. I can't remember where I was going with that, but
to help a lot of other people. They're doing it. Congratulations. It's good.
Yeah, it's been, well, I had to. I couldn't drink it. I couldn't do anything anymore. I was so sick. So I hit rock bottom. I'm talking 300 days out of the years I was having an outbreak, And,
wow.
It was just one after another, and it's just like, wow. I've been doing this now for what? I've been clearing it out in my kind of whatever way, my basic way. I've been clearing it out for just over a week, and I definitely averted an outbreak.
Wow.
Straight away.
Cool.
And I believe that I've done that a few times. Like, I was kind of doing this, but I had no real frame of reference for it. But I was already intuitively doing something like this.
Uh-huh.
And I think I've averted 2 outbreaks. I've had one in between those 2, but I've averted 2 outbreaks based on me just denying it and just clearing it out. And just becoming present with myself and just seeing where I'm becoming anxious and becoming
you'll cure it. You will cure it.
I can get a little intense sometimes. So.
You're like right now. I would say you're pretty. You're pretty intense right now. I would say. Which is actually not a bad thing. Intensity is way better than the opposite.
Yeah.
Way better. You're a passionate person who wants to be in touch with God, and that's why you're on this call, because I got that from your things that you wrote to me, and you're the kind of person I want around.
Yeah, well, I definitely, this thing resonates with me, and I'm very keen to so yeah, thank you. I'm very grateful.
And you could end up teaching this.
Yeah.
You probably.
I've got to, I've got to teach. I'm doing however that looks, at some stage I've got to give it away, otherwise it stagnates within me, and that's not, that's not expanding, is it? That's just stagnating and trying to hold on to your idea of how things should be or whatever,
Well,
your own healing, which is just, that's not healing. Is it?
it could look like earning a living doing this with people.
Yeah.
That's how it could look, you know.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people, there are a lot of people who need help and are totally willing to pay for it and will want to, you know, want to help themselves. And they're worthwhile and fun to work with, and you know, there's a lot of joy in doing this stuff, you know.
Right. Look forward to it.
And I don't have time to spend with them, but presumably you do, you know. So
Yeah.
that's where you come in. That's why I'm trying to, you know, draw people to me who can, you know, do that stuff with people and, you know, spend the time with them and earn their living that way. I already have a job, you know. I'm doing this, what you see me doing here. This is my job, you know. So I can't do everything.
Yeah.
But you know, I do actually, when people get coached, I do go, I am there sometimes, and you know, like I will help you learn and get started.
Yeah. Okay.
And you have the cure team behind you too.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Yeah, it helps us too to get, when you cure things, it empowers everybody here anyway. You know, it seems really inspired. I know Ron cured his, I cured mine, so I'm always doing it still.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you got negative blood tests, right?
Yeah, I got a negative blood test once in 2006, and then I engaged with somebody that had it. I got it back, and I disappeared it, and I still haven't had any outbreaks, but it showed up in a blood test about 9 months ago. But I haven't had any outbreaks for quite a while now, like, you know, like maybe 3 weeks. But I haven't gotten tested again since then.
You know, Barb, one thing I have to say is, like, when you have episodes where your immune system goes down,
yeah,
even if you don't, like, you don't get a herpes outbreak, but you may regenerate your herpes without getting an outbreak. See,
yeah,
you
I
don't.
get other symptoms like just in my behavior.
Yeah, you don't necessarily have to get an outbreak to, and then see that pushes back the time to get the negative blood test.
Yeah.
See, every time you regenerate it, the clock starts again. So if it takes like 2 years to get it to make it completely die off, then you know you've restarted. If you have one of these episodes, you've restarted the clock. Now it's going to take you 2 years from this point, and you had like 9 good months in, you know. And
I'm kind of looking forward to getting the next test just to see that I can do that again. So I definitely don't get outbreaks anymore at all, and it just showed up. HSV1 showed up on my blood test, but I'll get tested again in another year.
you know, HSV1 is the one that is the cofactor in cancer, Alzheimer's.
Yeah.
You know, you don't want to have that one. You know, you might be better off with the HSV2. You know, so just so you know, that's.
I'm not sure which one I've got even. I'm not sure if I ever found out which one it was.
I see.
Yeah.
Well, now let's see. Wow, this is interesting. You know that. I'm glad you came. You know, this was a kind of a fun way to spend this time. You know, since 2 of our members aren't here. Now, there was something else I wanted to tell you, Gus, which is this. I wrote a tweet yesterday, and the tweet says, Mother Teresa and we both look for people to help. Mother Teresa sought the needy, we seek the talented.
Nice. Nice.
And you're a talented person, I think. That's my sense of you. This movie was given to you by HUM, the World Ministry of Immunics, which enables you to cure medically incurable diseases. We also produce the Cure Drive in the iCollege of Immunics. This is the home page. And as you see here, the movie that starts playing automatically when the page opens is a 3-hour tutorial film, which underneath it is the beginning of a series of movies. If you click on these links, you go to another movie that's a continuation of the tutorial, showing different aspects of the things that people need to get into when they cure things. The movie shows many people curing things. You'll find complete cure tutorials on the home page. Under the group at the top is another, this is a video and text tutorial, and if you click on the link you'll see it has 10 lessons, and you can click on each lesson and you'll see it that the lessons are movies interspersed with explanations. And if you continue scrolling down the home page, you'll find a huge bank of movies of people curing things. Here's one of someone curing multiple sclerosis that you can click on and these play. Hopefully this one will play in a moment. There it is. So that woman cured PPMS and MS. Here you'll find people from every continent: Europe, the US, Asia, Canada. This woman cured shingles, and in this particular movie that's what she's demonstrating. And at the top of the home page you will find links to the cure meetings that we have every week. 9 p.m. New York time, Rome time 8 p.m. Underneath the cure meetings you'll find a link to friend me. It's actually Byard. I'm Byard speaking to you on Facebook, and you'll meet many people who are my Facebook friends there who have cured various diseases. Many of us have cured herpes, which is what I cured. Also there, if you have trouble getting signals, there is a whole bank of movies that focus on people who are just starting to get their first signals. Many of these people went on to bigger and better things, and you see them in other movies. But these are movies about their signals, how they got their first signals. At the very top of the home page you will find above the masthead a link to the cure shows. And we documented people curing things on, these are on the, we did this on the phone. There are shows on about 75 diseases, and the diseases are listed alphabetically, as you can see. You actually hear the people curing these diseases during these shows. That's post-traumatic stress syndrome from 9/11, you know, the catastrophe. We have a show on that, and fever, somebody curing the fever, several people curing fibromyalgia, flu. We had a flu hotline, and there are many people. These people are actually curing flu, and the flu stops. It clears up during the 15 or 20 minutes of the call. It doesn't take long to cure the flu. Over here you have paralysis, parasitic parenting, Parkinson's disease. When you cure something, please join your voice with the voices of the many people who came before you by reporting your cure in our poll, which you can do right above the tally of the cures that people have reported is here at the top. And as you can see, there's a little link here. And if you click on that, you will come to a form that enables you to report your cure. This page is the hub of the Web College, and as you can see, there are detailed lessons on how to remove viruses, cure cancer. Here's a movie on the right here of a doctor who actually years ago cured the flu on camera. You'll notice that skill 1 in the hierarchy of skills is cure physical diseases. That's actually the easiest thing with this particular approach. And I've put a great many things in the hierarchy of skills that relate to curing physical diseases, such as ending trauma, working on your organs. Now, if we go into the recode your DNA, there are 10 applications or 11 applications, and recode your DNA is one of them. If we go inside here, what we see is a page with a huge amount of links. And then if we look at the links on the right, after the ones on the left which prepare you, these are the actual lessons. And you can see some of them. It might be hard for some people to see why blind installation procedure is related to recoding your DNA. And this is why we've put it in this application, so that it relates it in your mind. This is the reason the Webb College is organized the way it is to relate things for you in your mind. And obviously there are a huge number of things, like if you're curing cancer or herpes or any medically incurable disease, it's obvious that there are a great many things that you have to learn. And they're different for everybody. You do not have to learn everything that's listed here. And in fact, cure is instantaneous. And it's always unexpected how it will come. Like, watch these women. They're going to give you a perspective. This is a good way to conclude this little overview I'm giving you here. Say, can I go to the 144th dimension? See if you get a signal on that. Can I go to the 144th dimension?
Can I go to the 144th dimension? Yes? I guess I can.
Go ahead and do it.
Okay, both of you go to the 144th dimension.
I'm taking myself to the 144th dimension.
Me too.
No stopping for gas on the 8th dimension.
I feel clear.
I feel less interested in anything below the 144th dimension.
Can we stay here all the time?
I know, exactly.
Well, I mean, this would take a lot of backstory, but there are some decisions that my family's making that I now feel clear about.
Yes, because when you have that perspective from the 144th dimension,
Yeah.
you simply don't care about anything as much.
That's exactly it. But I don't care doesn't sound so good.
Well, see, that's right.
But it's it. That's really
Not
it.
in effect.
When people hear we say we don't care, they go, "Well, God, that's sick," you know.
Okay, I know. It's a good thing.